Our Spring Grove Coach Conversation brought to you by Spring Grove Communications. We're with head coach Kody Moore. And Kody went over Saturday afternoon, took on Lyle Pacelli. Close competitive first half, but your defense really turned it on in the second half. Basically shut out the Athletics in the second half, and your offense got going and got the victory. What you take away from that game?
Well, like you said, Darren, we got off to a bit of a slow start. Got to give hats off to Lyle. They're a very talented team. We knew that they had a really talented quarterback and a good receiver, and those guys kind of got rolling early. I felt like we did come out a little flat. We even noticed in pregame, and Corey Sandus kind of came up to me pregame, and he's like, these guys just seem like we're a little bit flat right now, and we kind of tried to point that out and start cranking things up, but I just felt like defensively we started a little bit on our heels. Offensively, obviously we had the early turnover, so that was tough, but I did like the way we bounced back after that. Obviously, after the turnover, they went down and scored. Hunter Holland had a nice kickoff return on the ensuing kickoff, and I felt like then we kind of had a little bit of a spark. There was a few times plays that they actually scored on. They were kind of 50-50 balls that I feel like our DBs were in good spots, but we didn't go up and play the ball as well as we would have liked. So that's something we broke down in film yesterday and talked about doing a better job as far as DBs of going to play the ball in the air. Then otherwise, I guess overall I like the way Isaac bounced back after the early interception. It was windy. You saw that. You guys were dealing with that on the radio too. So it was a little more difficult to throw the ball. So we leaned on the run more so, and it was good to see our guys up front again get it done. I felt like we were able to have success. Hunter did a good job running behind those guys up front. Isaac ran a couple TDs. He threw a couple TDs. So overall, again, like you said, we played a much better second half, and I thought the guys came out, with more fire and energy the second half and carried it throughout and finished the game strong.
And I know in the world of data and analytics, which sports has become in many ways, that whole issue of energy probably isn't talked about enough, but it means so much, doesn't it?
Oh, especially in a game like football. It's a game you have to play with emotion. We talk about it all the time. You have to come out and understand that it's one of those games you're going at each other every single play. And if you're not emotional, if you don't play with energy, the other team is going to be successful. You have to match and exceed their energy. So that's kind of been something we've really talked about a lot throughout the year. We feel like when we do play with energy and enthusiasm and get excited about plays, we can play with most anybody. So hopefully the guys are understanding that, and we're going to need that energy and enthusiasm and physical type play going into Thursday against Mabel. So.
And when you look at your team right now, you have your first winning streak of the year. You've won 2 games in a row, trying to make it 3 this week. How much does that do for the confidence of your team?
Oh, definitely helps. We're a pretty young team overall. A lot of sophomores and juniors that are playing. So for those guys to get this experience like we have up until this point, I feel like we're getting to that point where we're going to be playing our best brand of football heading to the playoffs, and that's where you want to be. And the confidence that you need to have in order to play with those Grand Meadows and those Lanesboroughs, I feel like we're getting there. So hopefully that continues, and looking forward to finish up the season strong here.
And you got one of those rivalry games coming up this Thursday night as Mabel Canton comes to town. What challenges do the Cougars present?
It's always a fun one. It's the next door neighbor rivalry. Obviously, they have a Hall of Fame coach in Carl Urbanek. He does a tremendous job with that program. They hang their hat on that physical brand of football too. They run the ball. I mean, they're going to run it at you. They're not trying to surprise anybody. They're going to, I think the last game they played against Kings, and they had a couple kids maybe over 200 yards rushing. So we know what they're going to do offensively. It's going to be hat on hat, power type football, and we have to be able to match their physicality up front. If we do that, I feel like we can give ourselves a good shot to be in the game and hopefully play well enough to get a win Thursday.
All right, Coach, keep your kids healthy. We wish you best of luck.
Thanks a lot, Darren. Appreciate it.
Our Spring Grove Coach Conversation brought to you by Spring Grove Communications.